Ladies and gentlemen, as we mark 1 year of Galwan clashes, Republic gets exclusive information, the line of actual control deployment. Sources tell Republic TV that artillery and armoured troop strength has been revised threefold. Let me also bring in my colleague Shivadi, who closely tracks the Defence Ministry. Shivadi, break it down for our viewers. A year later, what has really changed? I would like you to first break it down for our viewers in terms of the standoff in Ladakh. We've seen a successful disengagement that took place at the north and south bank of Pangeng So, but thereafter, the co-commander levels talks haven't taken place, and the last that actually took place on 9th of April hasn't yielded much. So I would like you to break it down for our viewers for the better understanding. Where does the current standoff look like? Where is it headed towards?
Shravan, we know that the Indian Army has been holding strongly along the LAC, and we know that India still believes in peace and tranquility, and the stand of Indian forces, Indian political leadership, and also the military leadership has been that we believe in a resolve through dialogue. And we know that since the standoff started, the ugly bloodshed in Galwan, where we lost 20 brave hearts, since then India has been able to turn the tables and brought China on the talking tables. And already we know that 11 rounds of talks have been done. And India is quite hopeful that this whole issue will be resolved, and the status quo ante that India has been demanding and pursuing China for will be resolved. It might take time. It's not easy, because we know that how the strength of the army has been revised along the LAC also. So India is making all 360-degree efforts to build pressure on China for a peaceful resolve. But yes, all the military deployments are at place, and military leadership has been reiterating that India is ready to take on any kind of challenge. Shravan, we know that how the advancements have taken place if we talk in terms of the modernization of military in the region, in the eastern sector, in the eastern Ladakh, where we have been seeing how the deployments have changed, be it the troop strength or the armored or the RT strength, or even if we talk about the modern weapon system that has been inducted in past 1 year, starting from the Rafales that we witnessed. They were inducted and they were a game changer, and how the Indian Air Force have been deployed in the region with its complete strength. So this military preparedness definitely gave an edge to the Indian Army, to the Indian diplomacy, to talk and bring China on the talking table. And we also know the very important breakthrough that took place in the Kailash ranges on the 29th, 30th and 31st of August last year, when India occupied these ranges of region of along in the LAC of 70 kilometer. And that was a major breakthrough, because that was a setback for China for a very long time. China was there, but then when India took back these ranges, that was a major breakthrough that brought China in terms for disengagement that happened on 10th of February, that started in fact on 10th of February from the north and the south bank of Pangeng So. Since then, a lot has been done on political, military and economic front, also what we call the 360 response, for which the Indian political leadership has been ready, be it the pullbacks or the ban apps that have been done for China, the non-contact warfare that we say. And we also know how the whole system, how the whole deployment of the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force has been enhanced with, be it the boats that have been inducted into the Pangeng So region, in the Pangeng So Lake, the specialized exclusive boats that are there, or we talk about the strength of the Indian Air Force that is present there, or for that matter, even the Navy is deployed there with its Marcos. So all the strength, all the military strength is deployed with complete reorientation in the region, in the eastern Ladakh sector. And a very important point here I must mention, Shravan, that Indian Army now understands that this might take time. So they have changed the policy and taken it as a long-term issue that might take quite longer period, be it the winter haul is already over, the summer haul is going on, but army is now prepared for a much longer period to stay in the whole region and to stay with all its military might and all its deployments in place. We know that the revision and restructuring, reorientation of the Indian armed forces is taking place, and that is a major breakthrough that's coming in after 1 year of Galwan clash that took place on 15th June last year. So army is in a much stronger position today, and this has been felt by China also. We know, Shravan, that China now understands that it's not easy to take any kind of, for any adventures along the region, because India stands strong diplomatically, militarily, and political leadership is ensuring that this whole issue is taken up firmly.
Shivani, I'll request you to stay on, because on this special broadcast, we do have an expert joining us on this broadcast, Lieutenant General DS Hooda, former Northern Commander. It's a pleasure to have you on the broadcast, and also we are given to understand family members of the martyrs would also be joining us right now. Let me quickly first begin by asking this question to Lieutenant General DS Hooda. A year on, sir, what is it that we have learned, and the challenges that I may say so? The legacy issues still remain. Legacy issues is something that perhaps it's been difficult to kind of sort it out, but where do you think, how do you think this is going to pan out in the days to come? Or is it, as it's been said, a very long haul?
So thank you, Shravan, for inviting me to your program. It's a pleasure to be here. As you said, I think Galwan was a sort of a turning point in India-China relation. And I think finally woke us up to the reality that China is using its military capability, military force, to try and change the status quo on the border. And the fact that, our hopes of engaging China militarily, politically and diplomatically and in the economic sphere would sort of keep the LAC quiet. So I think, that idea has now been sort of cleared from our heads. And because of that, you find that the military has carried out very quick, very strong deployments. It understands what the challenges now that they are facing are along the line of actual control, not only in Ladakh, but also in the eastern sector. And I think the response after Galwan has been tremendously good of the Indian Army. Your anchor was mentioning, your sort of reporter was mentioning about the Kailash range occupation. That again, I think, is one key point in this whole last 1 year, where by occupying those ranges, we gained a tremendous sort of advantage that helped us actually get the Chinese to withdraw from the north and south bank of Pangong. So how do we look ahead, Shravan? We are seeing the attitude of the Chinese, and I think they are not going to disengage, at least in a hurry, from the areas that remain. So what India has been doing and has done well in the last 1 year by putting pressure at all places, I think that's what they need to do.
Lieutenant General DS Hooda, I would like to continue with this entire discussion as to what the way forward. But let me also introduce on this special program, and indeed I must say that we are privileged to actually have Colonel Bikumala Santosh Babu's father, who's joining us on this broadcast. Lieutenant General DS Hooda, I think so we'll take the discussion with him too, because today India is proud for the sacrifice that has been made by Colonel Santosh Babu. And just a quick update for all our viewers with regards to who exactly is Colonel Santosh Babu. Almost he's become a household name, but still I would like to tell our viewers a little bit about the valor of Colonel Santosh Babu, who led his troops against the vicious Chinese attack in Galwan Valley in eastern Ladakh in June last year. He has now been posthumously named for the second highest military award, Mahavir Chakra. Sir, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. And words aren't enough for the sacrifice that has been made by Colonel Santosh Babu. It must have been a very, very difficult time for your entire family. But at the same time, the message that perhaps Colonel Santosh Babu has sent across, it even lives till today. Sir, it must have been a difficult year for you, but I would like to ask you this question because many must have interacted with you over the last 1 year. Tell us a little bit about the legacy that has been left behind by Colonel Santosh Babu, sir.
Sir, after this Galwan clash last year, my son Santosh Babu and his team has exhibited a valor and a befitting reply they have given to the China. By this, our forces mental caliber has improved a lot because without weapons, without bombs, without any arms, they have fought and they have shown their upper handedness over the China. This is a breakthrough in the China and India forces. And apart from this supreme sacrifice of my son Santosh Babu and his team has given boost to the Indian government and Indian people to enhance their other equipment and arms, ordnance, etc. to further encourage forces to fight at any cost with China or anybody else. This message is given to the entire world. India is no way inferior to anybody else. And I feel that this sacrifices during this last 1 year I am observing is not gone in a casual way. It has gone wasted, not wasted. It is very much invested, I think. It is invested in the long run also in the youth, in the minds of youth, in the minds of politicians, in the minds of administrators, in the minds of every common man also in India. What I got feedback from my friends and well-wishers, this your Santosh Babu sacrifice has given an immense, strong message that we should be prepared for sacrifices to protect our country. We'll protect. We have willpower. We'll have mental caliber. We have every power. Time has shown. And at the same time, this Galwan clash has given a message to the China and blown their unbeaten confidence against India. We are nothing in front of the Indian forces. Without arms, without anything, they have fought and they have damaged like anything unimaginable. When we see during the last 1 year's developments, international and national and government policies of India and China, it has proved that what I feel. And I feel proud of my son's sacrifice. Though I lost my son as a family member, but his sacrifice has given a lot of encouragement, investment, whatever we feel, strength, mental strength or whatever it is, to the country. That is proud of my son, I feel. And for this, central government also has recognized and has given supreme award, Mahavir Chakra. For that also, he very much deserved and very well they have honored my son's sacrifice, and we are satisfied with it.
I know it's emotionally very, very difficult for you, sir, but what is it that one thing of Colonel Santosh Babu that you would miss the most?
I don't get it, sir.
I know it must have been very difficult for you and your entire family, sir, but let me ask you, because I've read a lot about Colonel Santosh Babu. His batchmates have spoken a lot about him. What is it, that one thing about Colonel Santosh Babu, the most endearing thing about Colonel Santosh Babu, that perhaps you and the entire family misses the most?
He is since childhood also very disciplined, very highly talented. That is in grasping, in understanding, in presentation also. Very highly talented, and his forbearance, tolerance level is also very high. But his sharpness in getting memory revised, recollected, or memory recorded also, like computer. And though he studied BSc in NDA, whatever studies, but he is very much competent to express or understand anything in the general knowledge, because his receiving level is very high, and at the same time he updates himself every time. We cannot find even a wrong character in him, because though he is my son, I am not commenting looking my son as looking my son, but as a third person also, when I observe, he is very highly talented in every aspect, very disciplined, very moral, having high moral, and idealistic, and inspirational. All those characters he have. That's why I can comment that he got every promotion in the first instance, and at the early age, he got to that higher level of promotions.
Well, in fact, Colonel Santosh Babu's exemplary leadership, astute professionalism, and supreme...
No.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt about one thing, that Colonel Santosh Babu's exemplary leadership and the astute professionalism and supreme sacrifice will never be forgotten by the entire country. Let me go back to Lieutenant General DS Hooda to try and understand the brass tacks of the issue. Lieutenant General DS Hooda, just to try and understand the belligerence that was actually shown by the Chinese, but at the same time, what really transpired on Galwan, somewhere down the line, many experts have said that has put the Chinese on the back foot, and perhaps that has brought the tempers down. Do you agree with that kind of assessment?
So, Shaman, I do, but before that, that Colonel Santosh Babu's father is here. Let me convey my deepest sort of respect to him and the way he's handling the situation. It's amazing and outstanding, and you can see where the son has got all these values and qualities. It's quite evident. So my respects to you, sir. I think, as I said, Galwan was somewhat of a turning point. It's the first time, I think, after 1975 that we had actual casualties on both sides along the line of actual control. And I think it told the Chinese that the belligerence that they are showing and that they had been showing since May by intruding across the LAC is something that will be replied to in equal measure by the Indian soldiers. And if you see that immediately after the incident happened, within 15 days, disengagement had taken place at Galwan. And thereafter, tempers sort of cooled down. If you look at the initial incursions in May, they were also accompanied by, I think, a fair amount of violence there was on both sides. Then, of course, the Galwan incident led actually to deaths. But it showed the PLA, it showed the Chinese that Indian Army is not one that is going to back down, and that it is going to stand firm. And not only the action that Galwan, but I think the subsequent actions in mobilization and rapidly deploying, in showing a very firm stance, is, I think, what has put the Chinese on the back foot.
General Hooda, thank you very much for putting this into perspective. And also, I would like to thank father of Colonel Santosh, Babu, who has joined us on this broadcast. Gentlemen, thank you very much for putting this into perspective. A somber moment for the entire country as we remember the supreme sacrifice of 20 of our soldiers. But at the same time, how are we to look at the days to come? Because the standoff still continues, the legacy issues still remain. Having said that, the army has already shown the kind of perseverance, at the same time has made it absolutely clear that the talks with the Chinese would continue. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on this broadcast.